Live from Camp Brightside in Georgetown, Texas, this is the Eagle Nation Coaches Show with head coach Chuck Griffin. Camp Brightside, located at 8701 Rural Route 2338 or Williams Drive in Georgetown, Texas, is the host of this year's show. And now, here's the voice of your Georgetown Eagles, Wally Harmon.
And we're live here trackside at the Georgetown High School. The JV playing right behind us. 42 seconds left. I think it's third quarter, 21-6 Georgetown. On the first game of the night, JV plays both games here tonight. Freshmen on the road over at Gupton Stadium to take on the Cedar Park Timberwolves. I'm Wally Harmon. Kelly Duvall, Dave England. It's a house full tonight. And, man, what a night it is. A good night to be a full house.
Oh, yeah.
A lot on the line. Tomorrow night we'll be live at Gupton Stadium. We'll bring you Georgetown Eagle football against Cedar Park, and it's simple. Win, and you're the district champions, the 1 seed. Lose, you're the district runner-ups and the 2 seed. And a chance here to make a statement. This Georgetown team has been on a run. Another big win on Friday night. I think surprised a lot of people. They thought Georgetown would win. They had Georgetown picked by 2 or 3 touchdowns. They did not expect a 65-21 win, and what a win it was! All facets of the game. Some issues there early in the special teams. Coach talked about those in his interview after the game, but it was fun to see some offensive output, another school record. That's fun to we could talk about. And Jet Walker in one half, almost a 200-yard performance again, but a chance to rest him in the second half. That's big going into the battle with Cedar Park. Kelly, your thoughts? Lake Belton came in riding the high. Right. A 3-way tie for first place, and Georgetown kind of left no doubts.
Well, to be quite honest, I was expecting a relatively comfortable win. Bit of a battle. I was not expecting the blowout that took place. And this was another very complete game by this Georgetown football team. Offense was clicking. The defense was attacking the football, and just a tremendous performance. And I think, as you said, this is an opportunity Friday to make a statement. Last Friday was definitely a statement. And the team's riding high in pretty good health, is pretty much as healthy as you can be at this point in the season with all the dings and nicks that teams face. But I'm excited for this game on Friday. Proud of the team for taking on Lake Belton and just dominating.
And Dave, I think we're not surprised in the win. I was surprised. I don't know about you. In the fashion in which we, at halftime, up that big, 51-14, and it didn't seem that close.
Right.
I think it surprised a lot of people how fast Georgetown put so many points on the board.
Yeah, Wally, it was just it was unknown coming in. All right, all these teams are 4-1. Who's going to stand out? And there was a lot of attention to that game that night. A lot more media there, and we'd never played Lake Belton before, and so that was a fun. A future rivalry. They're not too far away from us, just up the road in Belton, about 30 minutes away. But, yeah, for Georgetown to come in and play Georgetown football and take care of business, the attitude that they have is we're going to play our game, do our thing, and it'll show on the field. And you saw the breakaway speed with the receivers and Caleb just throwing dimes, and then the running game, and then our defense just locking it down and really making it difficult for Lake Belton to really get much going until late in the game.
We were talking about it there in the booth after the game about Georgetown getting close to another team record on offensive yards in a game, a single game in Georgetown history. Then the last play of the game, he handed off to Elijah Callaghan, and he goes 33 yards. Puts it at 707 yards on the night offensive for Georgetown. Another back-to-back night of setting a school record. But you see the sophomore quarterback. We talked about that, and we're going to get to talk to Caleb McDougall here in just a few minutes. But the sophomore quarterback just putting the ball right where it has to be. You talk about the weapons of Xavier Warren. You talk about the weapon of Davin Sedgwick, and just dropping it right into the arms of them. It hit them in stride, letting them use their speed. Just a great job up and down the field. You saw Luke Livingston come in and run the ball well. You saw Elijah Callaghan Of course, Jet Walker, 16 carries, 181 yards, I believe it was, in the first half. Doesn't come on the field in the second half, and your running game still continues to produce, and that opens up things. But, the first play of the game was the big shot to Xavier Warren for over 50 yards, and then the pressure gets on the Broncos, right? How do you try to shut the run down, but then not let the outside beat you when you have Xavier Warren, when you have Braylon Westfall, when you have Devin Sedgwick, when you have Max Muniz, when you have can we keep going with the names of receivers that can be a weapon for McDougall?
Yeah, like y'all talked about the other night at the game, our other running backs could also be 1,000-yard rushers in their own right. So, but yeah, the opposing defensive coordinators have got to have their hands full trying to figure out how to stop this Georgetown high-power offense, both run, pass, and then get something going offensively.
Yeah, and it was one of the things that they were able to accomplish was in the playoff standings. Yeah, there's one more game, but we as fans we're looking at the playoff standings. That win last week solidified a home game in the first round of the playoffs, and you love playing at home. But this team has only been involved in one close game. It was that loss to Leander that still leaves a bad taste in a lot of our mouths, but that one loss is the only close game that Georgetown has really played. So with that, the second, third, fourth team players have gotten a lot of snaps, which could be very valuable for a deep playoff run.
And I think that came, Wally, I think that came nice and early in the season, first district game. You don't want to drop the first district game, but what a time for these kids to say, hey, back to work. Let's really pay attention to what we're doing here and focus. And they sure did, because the run since has been just incredible.
And I think the senior leadership took a different step that night after that Leander game. The seriousness of it, that each week is important. Some help has come the way of the Eagles with 3 losses now handed to Leander after that to kind of push them down out of the playoff race and give Georgetown that, hey, we've cleaned it up. And, man, what a run they've been on. The attention that Georgetown is drawing. Last week, Texan Live brought a crew in to film the game as well to broadcast it. This week, there'll be 3 broadcasts of the ball game. We'll have it live here on the SHN Sports Network, brought to you by First Responder Broadcasting, as we do each and every week. And then you'll have the KXN Game of the Week. Roger Wallace will be there with his crew, and then the broadcast on the NFHS Network for Cedar Park. And so the attention is there. A big game for both teams. Georgetown sits at 8-1 on the year, 5-1 in district. Cedar Park 6-3, and a 5-1 in district. The winner takes home the district championship and a first seed for the playoffs. A chance for this Georgetown program to win all 5 district titles this weekend. A couple of them have already been solidified, looking through some of the stats and some of the websites. But an opportunity for this program to go 5-0 with district titles. And to be able to pull that off speaks a lot about this program and what this coaching staff's done.
I believe there's 1 tie for the sub-varsity and 1 loss for sub-varsity. Other than that, it's all wins.
And these teams have continued to show out as JV right now 21-6. And the second one getting ready. Second team just coming out, getting ready to go here tonight. Let's take a quick timeout. I think we're going in reverse formation if it's fine with Coach. We're going to go with Tennyson Dean and Kayla McDougall first, and then bring up Coach in a few minutes. We'll see if he's okay with that. Okay, and we're going to go with the players. So we'll take a quick timeout. We come back. Tennyson Dean from your defense will be up and join us here on the Eagle Nation Coaching Show. Stay with us live from Georgetown High School here on the SHN Sports Network.
Georgetown, there's a new dining and entertainment spot in town, Camp Brightside. Come and enjoy unbelievable food and drink menu in our rustic dining room or on the huge covered patio. Camp Brightside is not just great food and drink, but unmatched atmosphere that includes outdoor games, a wiffle ball field, and an outdoor stage. Camp Brightside is located at 8701 Rural Route 2338, also known as Williams Drive, near Ronald Reagan Boulevard. Camp Brightside is the site of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show every Wednesday at 6 p.m. For food, fun like none other in Georgetown, visit Camp Brightside and stay a while.
Back live here at Georgetown High School. We're on the track for tonight's Eagle Nation Coaches Show. It's brought to you by Camp Brightside. We'll be back next week, Camp Brightside, Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, before the first playoff game that'll be here at Berkelback Field on, we don't know the night yet. Thursday or Friday night, we'll find out later in the week once kind of things get settled out. When we keep up with Coach Griffin and all the social media. We're joined now by number 8. He's the junior on the defensive line, Tennyson Dean, joining us right now. Tennyson, Well, this defense is making a name for themselves. You guys have gone on a run, and it's been fun to watch from up in the booth. We've been blessed by that. How much fun is this defense having? This defensive line, it seems like you guys are just nonstop together across the board. The 4 starters there, and Andrew Urban and Dylan Turbeville, Luke Butch, and yourself. You guys seem to be having a lot of fun down there.
Yes, sir. I mean that group of guys. They're all jokesters, but when it's time to play, they come ready to play, and it's good to get to be led by those guys and see them as role models. But man, this D line's fun. You get to move a lot. You get to constantly stay active. Coach Loss does a good job involving the D line with a bunch of blitz stunts. But it's a really good time. We get to make a lot of plays.
As one of the juniors on this defense that has gets his number called quite a bit, the activity from this defense across the board, not just the line, the linebackers, the defensive backs, you guys all doing such a great job and putting on a clinic on the fewest amount of points allowed in district all year. I believe it's 21.5 during the district run right now. As a junior in this, some changes came after that tough loss to Leander. How is this building you as a personal player that will be one of the big leaders in his senior year next year on this defense for Georgetown?
I mean, that Leander game, we sure learned a lesson. And since then, I haven't heard one of our guys talk about, oh, this is going to be a walk in the park. We attack every week like it's going to be our last, and like we're playing for the district championship like we are tomorrow night. But I think that's what changed after that Leander game is we've attacked every week like it's going to be our last, and we've prepared. And it's ended up paying off for us. But getting to see those seniors on that team lead our team in film prep and just going through practice 100%, it's really shown me how I can lead that team next year as well.
You mentioned it a little bit earlier about the movement on the defensive line. This defense, we talk about the complex offenses that are out there, but this defense really throws some looks at the other team that they're not expecting because of that movement. How much do you guys rely on the communication up front for those movements so that you can have the success you guys have had this year?
Well, I mean, a lot of that movement is individual cues based on what the offensive line does. But when we're doing our stunt stuff, whether it's weak side or back or play side, when you're doing the stunt on the weak side, you have the me-you call with the defensive end, or whether it's play side, me and Chance always communicate who's going and who's setting the pick. But, yeah, communication is key, especially when you're doing that blitz stuff.
So do you like having your hand on the ground or you like standing?
At the beginning of the season, I was not a fan of having my hand on the ground just coming from playing linebacker. I was used to standing on 2 feet. But I've gotten more used to it, got more comfortable with it. I'd still have to go with the 2-point stance just because I feel like I can move better and have more speed out of it.
Our statistician, Holden Tuma, throws a lot of great stats out there. One of my favorites is that there's times where our defense will outscore the opposing offense. Talk to us about that.
Man, when you prepare, take last week, for example, Lake Belton, they were supposed to be a challenge. They were supposed to be, a really good team that it was going to be a close game. And we prepared for them like that. We prepared for them like they were, one of the best teams in our district because they were supposed to be. Yeah. And when you prepare all week like that, and then you get there on a Friday night, and you're whooping butt. It's a good thing to see. That all your hard work pays off, and by the second quarter you can kind of, you get to coach up the twos, and you get to encourage your other teammates, and you guys kind of get to step back and watch those other teammates get to succeed.
When you said whipping butt, you sounded remarkably like your dad.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
As you guys go, how important has that become during this season? One, to keep you guys healthy and to keep legs fresh, but to be in games where come the second half, the 2s and 3s are getting some reps, getting that experience in case of a big injury. But how big has that helped you guys to stay fresh, to keep this defense? Because the offense tends to have this problem of one-play drives, right. And kind of get back out there. You guys returned it with the pick 6 last week, hey, offense, get back on the field. Yeah. How is that helping there, and then allowing you guys to coach up those 2s and to build that camaraderie amongst the entire defense?
I mean, our defensive coaches, they expect the same out of the 2s as they do as the 1s, and I think that's really important that the standard is the same. Whether you're a starter or not, the standard is the same. For example, during the Glenn game, when we were scoring back-to-back-to-back, I told Coach Flo, I said, Flo, we need a break, man. You got to run the ball or something, and they would run the ball and score. And I said, all right, you got to throw the ball.
Could you line up in goal line formation for a couple of
Yeah,
snaps,
I mean,
please?
you got to change something.
You know, you look at that, all the conditioning that you do in the off season, and then to have an offense like you have that's one-play drives, you're going to be so conditioned for later in the year. That may bode well for Georgetown.
And honestly, I mean, that's the kind of conditioning you like because, all right, we're whooping this team's butt. I can't be mad that we're scoring, you know. So, yeah, I'll get out there and do another drive of defense and go 3 and out.
Offense, good job. Slow down, please.
Yeah. and it's interesting that you talk about that because several years ago when your dad was the head coach here, I did an interview with him, and he said in that interview, and I don't even know why I remember this, but he said in that interview, we may play a team that's better. We'll never play a team that's better conditioned.
Yep.
And it seems like that mentality has carried over.
For sure. Yes, sir. I mean, we have the saying, putting money in the bank in the summer when we're running sprints, putting money in the bank so that you can take money out of the bank during the season. You can cash those checks during the season, and I think that's what we're doing this season.
Is that sand pit your best friend?
No, I try to stay far away from the sand pit.
How quick did you guys put it's a 65-21 win over Lake Belton when a lot of attention had been given to that game and expectations for it to be a close battle, maybe Georgetown separate in the end. You guys separated in the first quarter, but continued to play well into the third and fourth quarters with a big win. How quickly did y'all put that behind you to get ready for this, knowing this week is the district championship on the line with Cedar Park? And how hard has this team worked this week getting ready for tomorrow night?
Yes, sir. I mean, in our Monday morning meetings after a big win the week before, Coach Griff goes over accolades and when we celebrate players, and then he says, all right, none of that matters anymore. You know, it's time for this week. It's time to start preparing for this week. And, you know, we try not to get lackadaisical and get into a routine because you got to attack practice. Monday morning's hard. Waking up at 5 every morning and showing up on a Monday morning, that's hard. But you got to keep attacking no matter what team you have in front of you that week because you don't know what they're going to throw at you.
When you're not on the football field, you're not practicing, you're not running those extra sprints, where do we find Tennyson Dean refueling and recharging?
I mean, hunting season just started up. Rifle season did. So over the weekend I plan to go hunt with my dad. But most of the time you find me sleeping or eating. That's what I tend to stick to.
Finally cooled off a little bit, so maybe the deer will be moving some.
Yes, sir.
We're hoping they do because Dave usually will fill up
I got one doe already.
his ice chest in the garage, and we can help clean it out for him and get last year's crop out of there.
So after Georgetown, recruiters need to pay attention to Tennyson Dean. He's very well spoken, makes eye contact, great interview. What are your plans for after Georgetown? Obviously, you still got your senior year to go, but
yes, sir.
Have you thought about your future, where you want to be?
I mean, some people have goals. They want to go play D1 ball. I just don't think that's me. I would like to go play D2 or a big D3 if the opportunity presents itself, but I'm not setting my future playing college football. You know, I'd like to just go get a degree and, you know, meet people in college, but I'm not setting my future on playing football in college.
Cool.
I'll tell you what, it's been fun talking to him. Tennyson Dean, number 8 on your Georgetown defense, a junior and one of the leaders that has done a great job. Tennyson, thanks for joining us. We'll take a quick time out. Back next on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, we go underclassmen. We go to the quarterback. Caden McDougall will join us next, the All-Star. We'll be right back here from Georgetown High School.
Hey, Georgetown, there's a new place to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and it's on the beautiful square in downtown. It's Goldberger Diner. When you walk into this 50s-style diner, you're greeted with a smile, greeted like your family. Sit at the counter, a table, or a booth and get ready for an old-fashioned dining experience like no other in Georgetown. Enjoy tasty breakfast or come later for a burger, chicken fried steak, or even the Southern classic liver and onions. There's so much to choose from. Goldberger Diner is located at 109 West 7th Street in downtown.
Back live here at the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, brought to you by Camp Brightside. We're not at Camp Brightside tonight. We'll be back there next Wednesday. I talked today to Cody Hurt. Tommy was out there. I had lunch at Camp Brightside, one of my new favorite spots. And we will be up on the stage next week with the time change. It gets darker, and we'll be there for the Coaches Show right before week 1 of the playoffs. But right now we're joined. It is not Caden McDougall. It is Caleb McDougall. We found the real quarterback. He wears number 12, and I tell you what, you and I talk every week. We run each other at volleyball during the week at the Booster Club meeting, different things. And we've seen each other each week and talk. Congrats on a great year so far.
Thank you.
A lot of pressure has to be put on a sophomore to come in after a run like the last quarterbacks. Darson Herman was here for 3 years at the helm, and then you had Tucker Griffin and Noah Boris step in, and then all of a sudden it was now there's a battle. And the quarterback room filled up during the summertime. You separated yourself, and what a season you've had. Another big game on a Friday night against Lake Belton. How much fun are you having now? I mean, we're 9 games in on the season. You guys are guaranteed a home playoff game, but a chance to play for a district title tomorrow night. How much fun are you having as the quarterback at Georgetown?
It's a lot of fun, and it's definitely a big jump from going freshman straight to varsity, but it's got its good things.
We talked about that during spring ball. You and I chatted because after baseball, all of a sudden I look up and I was like, "Hey, coach, who's out there at the quarterback? A runner right now. One's is McDougall." I was like, "Wait, who's playing baseball last week?" And we talked, and you said, "Man, it's a lot faster."
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's slowed down for you. How has that progress made? How big was spring ball for you to help get you prepared for the summer and then into the fall for camp and then the season? That things seem to have slowed down pretty well for you at the helm.
Spring football was probably the biggest thing that helped me. Going in those meetings every morning and learning something new, learning what to read. But
Looks like Georgetown just threw an interception.
Cedar Park about to tie it up here in the fourth quarter. The minute and a half left. All right, sorry, the crowd got us distracted. But spring ball was a big help to prepare you for it. As you turn to this season, to have a weapon in the backfield like a Jet Walker and then get spelled by a Elijah Callaghan and a Luke Livingston and now Darius Rockmore, then to go to the outside in your passing game and the weapons that you have out there with Xavier Warren and Davin Sedgwick and the speed on the outsides, and then you got a Braylon Westfall and a Max Muniz, and we kept going on earlier how many weapons you have. Yep. How does that help you settle in knowing that the pressure is not all on you to create because you have those kind of weapons available to you, and the run game has been a huge catalyst for this offense?
It lets me stay comfortable because some weeks will be run heavy, some weeks will be even, some weeks will pass heavy, and it just helps me stay comfortable in the pocket, know what I'm doing, make the right reads, especially with that line up front, keeping me safe back there, and not have to worry about being the hero and making special plays.
So shout out to the defense for y'all to be able to get the ball back so much to get over 700 yards of total offense. Another record, right, Wally?
Another school record this past week, 707 yards.
Yep.
What's that like? What's going through your mind as that happens here? And then the last play of the game, Elijah breaks it for 33 yards to put us over 700 and have a record. What's going through the offense's mind as you guys continue to stack up yards and points?
Just keep it going, try to break each record every week and get better every week, be more prepared every week, and go do a better job.
You've got a heck of an offensive line, and makes it a little more comfortable from that transition from freshman up. But talk about those big guys up front. They have kept you pretty well safe and opened up some running lanes. How big are those guys as far as the performance of this offense?
They're probably the people that get it started. I mean, we can't run the ball without them, and we can't pass the ball without them protecting me. So they're a major part, and we'll get together before games and talk about little things, talk about what we need to do during the game, talk about different calls, and we just want to stay prepared.
Seems like that both sides of the ball. The communication, everybody taking care of their jobs. You don't see a lot of folks that seem like they've got big egos. It's about the team. Yeah. And talk about how close this team is as a group.
It's been one of our main focuses is unity and playing as a team, because that's the only reason we're having this great of a season is we're all playing as one unit and we're moving as one unit, and not one person is by themselves. Everybody's buying into how we want to do things here.
And you guys celebrate. I mean, there may be some guys that don't get a whole lot of snaps, but whenever they come in and they perform well, it's celebrating like it's a championship drive, even with those guys. And I love that camaraderie. We've talked a little bit about it. This is a player-led team as well as the leadership from the coaching staff. Who are the really big leaders that help keep this offense going?
On the offensive side, Brent Hargrove's a big one. Jet Walker, Davin Sedgwick, mainly the seniors, because this is their last season and they really want it to be good. So mainly those guys. Defense, same thing. Chance Kelly, even Cole Mitchell, and that D line really keeps people together.
I've seen some teams before didn't have a whole lot of player leadership. There's some quality players, and it's not a knock on them. But this team has, you just listed off 8 different guys, and that's just some of the seniors that you talked about. There's junior leadership. You as the quarterback got some sophomore leadership. Is the leadership on this team really as exceptional as it seems from the outside?
For sure it is, yeah.
Your expectations coming in your freshman year or your sophomore year this year, name the starter. From your expectations of game one to where this team is right now, what has that done to your expectations? Is it far outblown them? And where's the mindset now as you guys look to make a run in the playoffs?
Yeah, I didn't really know where I was going to be. And after that first quarter with, 4 touchdowns in the Victoria East game and like the first 3 minutes, it was crazy to just think that I already had that many. And it's keeping us going.
That's a pretty good intro to Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, awesome intro.
How quick is to go over each game after the game's over? You and I talked during the week on things that went well. How you thought. How quick is Dad to critique the game and make sure that a reminder of anything that may have gone wrong, or is it all positive support from Dad?
Oh, it's all positive. He fixes me, but it's in a good way every time.
He's positive. He's going to straighten his butt up.
Yeah.
How many times have you taken your offensive line up to double days for the buffet?
I haven't at all.
We need to get Jimmy Warren.
He's a sophomore.
Hey, we need to get Jimmy Warren's credit card and take the offensive line up for the buffet there at double days. Hey, as we look at it, you look at the numbers right now going into tomorrow night's game with Cedar Park. I believe it's 26 passing touchdowns to 3 interceptions on the year. How big is that for you? Is it something you think about, hey, I don't want to make a mistake, or you just trust it knowing that these guys are going to be there and your job is to put it out there for them to go get?
I just really trust my receivers because we work on it in practice, and I don't like to envision what could go wrong. I like to what's the positive thing that can come out of it, and just envision it before the game, and then right before that snap, just be ready to put the ball in the right spot.
I've asked this question to a couple of players this season. I'll ask you. In practice, when y'all go good on good, you probably don't get hit a lot, but somebody's hit you this year. Who is the one coming across that defensive line that you do not want to get blasted by?
All of them. They'll all come smoke you.
How big of fans does that make you on Thursday and Friday nights to then be the cheerleaders for this defense, knowing what they're doing to the other offense instead of you guys?
Yeah, it's big. Yeah, and then just cheering for each other is one of the, being a unit, cheering for each other and keeping each other up.
You're not on the football field, not on the baseball field, not in the batter's box, not doing all of that. You and Luke Holly both looking up at Luke, playing all these sports. Where do we find you refueling, recharging the batteries, and enjoying some downtime?
Probably a deer stand. I like going there and out in the middle of nowhere, and then in my bed sleeping.
Is that coming up anytime soon for you? Any deer stand time?
Probably next weekend.
There you go. Georgetown's quarterback.
Time for deer chili, baby.
That's right.
'Tis the season.
Georgetown's quarterback, the sophomore, number 12, Caleb McDougall. He's put up a great competition this year against number 10, Caden McDougall, but he's done a great job. We love to joke about it. The media can't get his name right week in and week out, and so luckily we get to see him on a weekly basis. And remember, it's McDougall until I called him McDougall in the first play against Lake Belton. He joins us here tonight on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. We'll take a timeout, and I think we'll go ahead and figure out and bring up Coach Chuck Griffin to talk Eagle football with you here live from Georgetown High School. It's Eagle Nation Coaches Show brought to you by Camp Brightside. We'll be right back.
Georgetown, there's a new dining and entertainment spot in town, Camp Brightside. Come and enjoy unbelievable food and drink menu in our rustic dining room or on the huge covered patio. Camp Brightside is not just great food and drink, but unmatched atmosphere that includes outdoor games, a wiffle ball field, and an outdoor stage. Camp Brightside is located at 8701 Rural Route 2338, also known as Williams Drive, near Ronald Reagan Boulevard. Camp Brightside is the site of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show every Wednesday at 6 p.m. For food, fun like none other in Georgetown, visit Camp Brightside and stay a while.
We're back here live. Eagle Nation Coaches Show continues on. Freshman, or JV, get a win. 21-20 on a goal line stop on the two-point conversion by Cedar Park. District champs for that JV team.
Yep, third year in a row for the JV Blue team.
Nice.
So JV Blue holds on for a one-point win, 21-20. JV Silver getting ready to go through their warm-ups and play here behind us, but joined now by head coach Chuck Griffin. Coach, a lot of light was shown on this Georgetown team last week. The hype was being brought by Dave Campbell's Texan Live, talking about the fact that, man, Georgetown, this team is on a run. They're one of the most high-powered offenses in the state in 5A. We're going to go cover this game. And everyone, hey, man, we expect them to win 17 points, maybe 14, maybe 21, 51-14 and a half. And all of a sudden the tone changed this week as we've watched some updates about, we didn't see that out of this offense. I think we've become accustomed to the fact that this defense and this offense are clicking at all cylinders right now. Talk about that big win over Lake Belton.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get a win is huge, right? You know, so it's hard to win football games. And so extremely proud of our guys and what they're able to accomplish. And we're just going in every week with the mindset of getting ready and winning one play at a time and doing that. And yeah, right now we've got some weapons on offense and we're hitting really good cylinders on defense and just kind of playing really good football as a team.
The beginning of the season, we talked about the fact that you've never had to replace 6 coaches in one season.
Yeah.
And that was not a concern, but then it's a challenge.
Yeah, sure.
For you and your staff to come and to meld and come such a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
I think 9 games in, we're pretty convinced you did a pretty good job of bringing in the right people at the right time, and these players responded on all cylinders for their coaches.
Yeah, I mean, a large part of that goes to our administration allowing me to go out and find the best coaches I can find. That's Mr. Johnson, our principal, and then Dr. Patable, our superintendent, Jason Dean, our AD, allowing me to go out and get the best coaches I can get. And we're blessed. We've got some really good coaches and some guys that are coming in and working hard and brought a lot of experience. And we got several guys on our staff that have head coaching experience. Several guys have coordinator experience. So to get all those guys in and kind of get them all pulled in the same direction is really good.
So last Friday was Coaches Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
lot of credit. The kids get a lot of attention and credit, but a lot of credit goes to the staff and you for being able to put together that staff. Leadership starts at the top, and it's just been fun, like Wally was talking about, to see how you put this whole coaching group together after losing 6.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate that, and it's kind of what we call around here our blueprint, and kind of after Phil Blue, and I think again going back to the administration. Hiring somebody, hiring me that has worked for the 2 previous head coaches and know what the community is like, know the expectations of the community, know the expectations of the kids, and be able to come in and help bring all that together. And I mean, coaches get a lot of credit and I think deserve some, but man, it's a lot. They say, it's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmies and Joes, and we've got some really good players. And, that's a big part of it is we've got some really good players that are out there playing really good football right now. So.
And there's things that y'all do that nobody ever sees and nobody knows about to take care of these 250 young student athletes.
Yes, sir.
I remember one time I showed up for a Booster Club meeting, and I just got there a little early, and y'all were in there. It might have been before you got hired or right around the time you got hired. Y'all were in there trying to solve a problem for a young man. Yeah. And putting your heads together, trying to think of what can we do to help this youngster.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of why I was attracted to this. I gave up another career to come coach football 26 years ago, and it was because of the ability to help raise the next generation of men. And I think football is one of the last places that you can do that, raise a man who's physically tough, and is willing to do hard things and learn how to be a member of team. And so I'm I'm blessed to be doing this, and blessed to be doing it in this community.
You talked about you've got a lot of good athletes on this football team. Sometimes when you got that number of athletes in the locker room, sometimes the ego's getting away, but
Sure.
this team really gels. And talk about the cohesiveness and the culture behind this team. I know culture is something you work on constantly.
Yeah, it's a process. I tease our coaches all the time. I think we all have enough clinical hours to be a psychologist. Because when you got it's when you have this many young guys and they all are good, and you're dealing with a team, roughly 60 on the varsity. There's a lot of work that goes into getting everybody pulled in the same direction. And I've got a quote on my board that says nobody is selfish in pursuit of their own goals. Like, everybody is willing to pursue their own goals, right? Your deal is, like, my job is to get everybody's goals aligned, right, and to get everybody pulling in the same direction. And if we can do that, we've got an opportunity to be really good.
Speaking of everybody in the same direction, all 5 teams an opportunity to win a district title tonight for Georgetown. Almost unheard of. It's hard to do. One, it's hard to win a district title, much less 5 across the board for both teams on the freshman level, the JV level.
Yeah.
Talk about that and how well this season's been going as a whole for Georgetown football.
Yeah, I mean, it's exceptional. We've never had a season like this in the 12 years I've been here. And in the 26 years I've been coaching, I've never seen this. And I mean, our kids have bought in. They're playing really hard. Our coaches do an excellent job. I take great pride in coaching our freshman white team and our JV blue team and our JV silver and our freshman blue team. Our guys take great pride in that, and they work really hard at it. Not many people are studying, looking at JV film and freshman film too to get prepared, but our guys do because they care about putting a winning product out here on the field for our kids. And that's huge for us, because if our kids can learn to win, as a freshman and a sophomore or junior, then they've got an opportunity to win as a senior. Every year we have a starter on our team somewhere that was a freshman white team, and then they were a JV blue, and then they were a JV silver, and then all of a sudden they're a starter on their senior year, and it's because they've played 30 games. They've got 30 games worth of experience, and so that's huge for us to have those 5 football teams and all of them be successful.
And you talk about the future. This season we're having a ball, but next season is looking good because the kids that are playing out here, they expect to win a district championship because they've been doing the freshmen too. So these next 4 teams coming up. Yeah. And then last night we got to have Forbes and Benold battling it out. So that's the future of Georgetown football too.
I mean, we're blessed again from an administration standpoint of having, my coach was able to go to the middle schools. And we got 2 excellent coordinators, excellent coaching staffs, and James Hammock and Paul Gamage both do a tremendous job coordinating our middle schools and making sure they're aligned with what we're doing from the 7th grade all the way up to the 12th grade. And those guys do. I text them today and just said, man, thank y'all. Y'all give us an excellent product every year. And they're working really hard, and those guys do a great job. So very thankful for them and what they're able to do, and got to see it last night on the field, and both teams got to compete really well.
Now we got to turn our attention to tomorrow night.
That's exactly where I was going.
You're going to Cedar Park, Gupton Stadium. It's almost been the arch nemesis lately. We sit at a 3-13 record all time against Cedar Park. We look at numbers. We crunch numbers. That's what we talk about. But set that all aside. Tomorrow night, Georgetown plays for a district title. And an opportunity to just make another great run through a season that it seems like these guys have gone through ups and downs, but the players have developed. They put out the effort. How ready is this team for tomorrow night in a big battle with Cedar Park?
I think we're ready. We've had a good week of practice, and the deal we talked about is this again is another nameless, faceless opponent, right? You just got to be ready to win one play at a time, one snap at a time. But the thing that is important with this group is knowing the stakes and knowing that, hey, this is a really big deal. You got an opportunity to go win a district championship, which doesn't happen very often, So knowing the stakes, that means, all right, my intensity, my focus, and my effort during the week in preparation is going to be special. Like, it's going to be more, and all that stuff. It doesn't guarantee us the win. It just guarantees us the opportunity to go win, right? It'll put us in a position to have a chance to win the football game. And so that's what we've been working on this week, and that's what we've been talking to the kids about.
Outside of football, Coach, it's obvious, having gotten to know you over these years, your spiritual life is a very important part of not just your family life, but your professional life, your whole life. How does that influence how you coach these kids?
I think it's just part of who I am, so it's going to come out. We don't. I don't stand up there and proselytize to the kids, but I think I try to live it, live a certain way so that they can see that, and I think that's important to be who I am, and who I think I've been created to be. So that's the way I try to live my life, and that's the way I try to coach, and it comes out. And there are times we talk about it, it comes up, and especially individually, kids will ask me, and I get to have some sit-down conversations with them. But, the main part is I want them to just see that it's possible to be a professional and to be good and to be a good husband and be a good father and to be a good employee and do all those kind of things and be a follower and be that, So I think just trying to live it the best I can is the best way to do it.
As the athletic coordinator here at Georgetown, apart from football, you're in charge of a lot of things and overseeing the sports across the board here. Rhonda Farney helps you on the female side of it and the female sports. One thing you guys did last Tuesday, 2 Fridays ago, Weiss came into town on a Tuesday, I believe it was, the 22nd. Yeah. You guys left and went and supported the band and watched them at their competition. You get back, it's going to set 5 against the Weiss Wolves in a big game to be a part of a shared district championship for those girls. And the boys come in. Yeah. It's the support amongst all these programs is fun to watch. How big is that, and how important is that for you as the athletic coordinator, but yet for all the coaching staffs here to encourage that amongst the student athletes to support each other in their own endeavors?
Well, I think that's one of the things that makes Georgetown special. We've got a great coaching staff all the way through middle school, girls and boys, all the way up the high school, both sides of the aisle, and we all work together. That's one of my favorite things about track is getting out coaching track is we've got basketball coaches, football coaches, and volleyball coaches, and we're all coaching track. That's just special. We've got a special place here, and we got special kids, and it's a great place to be and a great place to coach. So, have an opportunity to go do those kind of things. We got to share last week. Rhonda and I did with about 25 or 30 people in our community. Just, her and I on our side of town and our 3 schools, we serve about 1,500 kids, and we've got 58 coaches and over 100 teams. I think there's 106 teams from 7th to 12th grade that we're looking at, and we're doing that because we want our kids to be able to have a chance to go out and compete, find what works for them, find what they're good at, and because there's so much value that can be found in athletics. And I think our principals do a tremendous job of that. Mr. Johnson does, like understanding the value of athletics in the educational process. And when you have a good athletic program, it changes the entire environment of your school. And it's a good athletic program, not a good football team or a good girls basketball. Like, it's the whole thing. When you can put an entire product out there like that, it changes the environment of your school. And so we would do that. And then our administration, Coach Dean and Dr. Padaville have made it important for us to have a character education piece. So all our sports teach that and work on that, especially during the off season. We've got some curriculum. Like, my coaches actually write curriculum every year, every spring, to help teach kids and help show them some things that are important to them about who they are as a husband or a father or an employee, whatever it is, And so we get to do that, and doing that that helps precipitate into the school building. And we've got young men and women that are going out and doing that in the school building, in the classroom, and that changes the environment of the school.
It was so cool to see. I interviewed Addie Guido after that big match. Yeah. Georgetown came from behind 2-1, ends up winning it in 5, guarantees himself a district championship. Now they're the number 1 seed. And the first thing she said about it was, a shout out to the football team for coming back in. She said it got so loud, and the emotion that got pumped into the team, and then kind of ate at the Weiss student body that was there. Yeah. And it was just fun to see that good recognizes good, and the effort is recognized by the students and each other as the Georgetown volleyball team continues their winning ways on into the area round tomorrow or Friday night. And so it's just fun to watch as we sit on the outside watching in and calling the sports. To watch these kids and the young men and young women they're becoming. Yeah. And so that speaks volumes to you and your staff, who you surround yourself with. And so that has been fun to be a part of. Kelly?
Coach, one quick thing. None of this happens without a team effort. And part of that team is a part that we rarely talk about, at least publicly, and that's your wives, spouses, significant others. So shout out to them.
Absolutely.
And how much does that mean that these wives they're sacrificing you guys for months?
It is. It's a big piece. You gotta have a good coach's wife if you're going to be a good coach. Just because you're gone so much, It's I don't think people really understand, but really the one night of the week I get off is Saturday night. That's it, and I've got something every other single night of the week, and it's been that way for 26 years. So I don't think people really understand that. That's why, like, we got several coaches up here with the kids running around here tonight a little bit because it's the only time they get to see them.
Yeah.
Growing up, my wife would always bring my kids to the field house so they could see Dad and they could see him working and they could see that and so that I get to see him before they were in bed, No, our wives, man, they've got something special waiting on them in heaven for dealing with what they deal with, and it's tough. They get to hear a lot of things and see a lot of things that everybody's not always happy with us too, so they have a really tough spot. And, man, you've got to have a really good coach's wife to be a good football coach.
It's funny to see y'all down here on Thursday night. It's like
it's our date night.
It's a golf, I was supposed to say, like golf cart date night. Watching football.
She's under the weather tonight, so there's no date night tonight. She's at home in bed tonight.
Right before you asked the question, I was about to say, speaking of, I have not seen Melanie Griffin. So hopefully she gets better.
Yeah, she's at home in bed tonight. So
and we did get a great opportunity. When you see him, please thank him again for us. Ty came up in the booth on Friday night and interviewed with us at halftime. And, man, the royalty music that he is doing, I've fallen in love with it. It is on my playlist on my phone. I get to listen in my car during the day. But it was so cool to hear him and see the other side of the Griffin family. We know Tucker so well and got to participate and witness his wedding this summer and then get to meet Ty and showcase his music. And so make sure for us, please tell him again, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to talk to him. But head coach Chuck Griffin, we're going to let him go. The game is getting underway. It's underway.
Any comments about Cedar Park? Any thoughts?
Man, they're a good football team.
Before
we let you go, there's a big game coming up.
Coach Q does a great job, and they've been, you mentioned, they've kind of been our nemesis. But I think our kids now have kind of gotten past that. All of our teams have beaten them some, and so our kids feel confident about that. But they're good. Like I said last week, that was the best team we were going to play, and I think this is the best team that we're going to play from top to bottom. I mean, you saw that, like our JV Blue really, they've had one close game last week, and this game tonight, came down to the wire. They had to make a stop. So they're really well coached at every level. I've told our kids this week, I've been up on Cedar Park 27-0, 10-0, 21-0, and I've lost all three of those games. So we've got to make sure that we understand, like, there's no quit in Cedar Park. We're going to have to play a full 48 minutes, and that's the way the game's going to go.
Who are we watching on Thursday night? Who do we need to be paying attention to? From Cedar Park?
I mean, their running back Trey is excellent. I think he's been a little bit banged up, and of course we're hoping we don't see him too much, but he's a good player, and if he's on the field, it's a different ball game. He is a fine player, and their quarterback, his sophomore like Caleb, and a little bit different. He's going to run the ball a good bit. They're going to use a lot of quarterback running game, and he is a good player. Then of course, defensively, they're always good. They're always very sound. They're always good up front. They are always kind of in attack mode and very physical up front. So our kids, we've challenged our kids this week. They're going to have to be ready for that, and be ready to match up there.
We'll let him go. Go enjoy the JV game. Head coach Chuck Griffin will take a timeout. I think we've got our players huddled around the golf cart. We'll bring them back. Trivia in just a minute live here on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, brought to you by Camp Brightside. Stay with us.
At Mesquite Creek Outfitters, located at 704 South Austin Avenue in Georgetown, Texas, we bring community together in a casual environment to share the love of gear, great drinks, and friendship. Enjoy our light menu, a beverage, and shop our great selection of men's and women's clothing and gear. Also, check out our website for MCO Grocery Company and have fresh groceries delivered directly to your doorstep. Visit the Mesquite Creek site at www.mesquitecreekoutfitters.com or stop in and say hello. MCO is a proud sponsor of this year's Georgetown Eagle football broadcast, brought to you by First Responder Broadcasting.
Here we go. We're back live here at the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. I'm going to back up, and we got the players here to introduce themselves. We got trivia tonight. It's NBA trivia, 2000 to the present. And so we'll introduce offense and defense, and we'll get ready to go. Oh, wait, hold on. That's better. Go ahead.
Safety, Alex Wilson.
Chance Kelly, number 6, linebacker.
Luke Hawley, number 3, safety. Caleb McDougall, number 12, quarterback.
Damon Sadwick, number 2, receiver.
Joe Strittmatter, number 4, quarterback.
All righty, here we go. NBA trivia. Got to get to my photos again. I put it on the screen. I was like, I can't give them the answers. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Which team was the first to come back from a 3-1 deficit in the NBA Finals to win the championship? Oh, I was going to say.
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Can you tell me what year and who they beat?
2016, the Golden State Warriors.
That is correct.
I thought you were just here. Just eye candy or something.
Defense, 1-0.
Defense is trying to make up because they got smoked last week.
Who is the only player to average a triple-double for an entire season in multiple seasons, and how many times has he done it?
Jokic.
No.
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook, how many times? How many seasons has he done that?
3.
Close, 4. Hey, it's still 2-0, but bonus question. Can you answer the only other NBA player who averaged a triple-double for one season in their career? It was done, and it's a very old legend. Just a chance.
Chamberlain.
No, Oscar Robertson. All right, defense is up 2-0. Here we go. Number 3. Who was the first European-born player to win the NBA MVP award? It was in 2007, if that helps.
Giannis. I don't know how to say his last name.
No.
Dirk.
Dirk Nowitzki, but the offense.
Hey, man, don't look at me. I don't know NBA, dude. I know 80s and 90s NBA.
Okay, they don't get that. They don't get credit for that. 2-0 still. All right, number 4. What team won the 2024 NBA championship?
The Boston Celtics.
That is correct.
This is a smoke show.
All right, 3-0. Who won the 2021 NBA Rookie of the Year? 2021. Who won the NBA Rookie of the Year? And I can give you one hint on the team that he plays on. He followed it up with a 2022 All-Star selection.
Is it Trae Young?
No.
Good guess.
He played for and plays for the Charlotte Hornets.
LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball. So defense wins it 3-1. And, hey, we know we have a show next week.
Hey, I got a bonus question.
Uh-oh.
Who's the only NBA player to choke their coach and not go to prison?
I don't even know.
Latrell Sprewell.
Oh. That was before. Before.
That's old people.
Yeah.
Old people trivia.
Defense, another win, another topic. Or are we going to go random trivia?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next week, we'll be back at Camp Brightside. We will have random trivia. The defense wins again tonight. And now we'll take a short time out. We come back. It'll be time for Jimmy Warren. If he'll walk over here, we'll have the Booster Club update. This week, we will not have the mute button on, so it'll be a good conversation with Jimmy that you can all enjoy. We'll take
all right.
a quick time
Y'all
out.
have a good night. I'm leaving.
Eagle Nation Coaches Show continues on in just a moment.
For all the fly fishing, hunting, and outdoors enthusiasts, River and Ranch Provisions is your one-stop shop for the gear you need. There's a large selection of hunting and fly fishing supplies for the beginner, all the way up to the experienced outdoor folks. Cody, Brad, Sam, and Tim have put together a high-end outdoor outfitter with high-quality supplies and services to make everyone feel welcome and important, regardless of your experience level. Come see what there is to offer at 807 South Austin Avenue in Georgetown, or check out the website at www.rrpgtx.com.
Operating the mute button.
It's the mute button is off. Now it's off. All right, yeah. That was the greatest interview never heard last week between Kelly and Jimmy Warren, as he was so willing to come back this week.
Trust me, folks, it was awesome.
It was great. It was great. We had a good conversation.
I tried to lip read it over my phone while I was driving. It was a little difficult, so no good. But we're back here live at Georgetown High School. The JV, is it JV Silver?
JV Silver.
JV Silver playing right now. They're down 7-0 in the first
driving.
quarter.
They're driving, though.
They are driving towards the end zone. An opportunity for Georgetown to win another district title. Oh, it didn't get it in time.
It's all right.
But an opportunity to talk about the Georgetown Eagle Football Booster Club, where President Jimmy Warren, he's going to be back for another year next year, we heard.
No,
never mind. I was just being hopeful.
I'll be around here, you know.
Just not on the board.
Yeah,
he's getting the boot after.
That's right.
Are you training your replacement?
Yes, working on him.
Jeremy McDougall.
He's right over there. Yep.
All right.
Captain Barbecue right
That's
there.
Right. That's
that
right.
Is right.
Tailgate boss.
There you go. The tailgate boss will take over.
Yep.
Touchdown.
And so Georgetown puts a touchdown on the board, so now a chance to even it up at 7-7, or if they go for 2, we'll see here if they're going for the extra point or 2-point conversion.
Kick.
Looks like an extra point here, so they'll try to tie it up at 7 apiece here with 58 seconds left in the first quarter.
Is that the G-Town Lumber and Supply?
Extra point attempt. That is right.
That's
Hometown service like none other. 9400 Brown Lane, Austin, Texas. G-Town Lumber and Supply. Not sure where I've heard that before.
And the kick is good.
So Georgetown ties it up here in the first quarter, 7-7 with Cedar Park. But now we talk about tomorrow night. The Eagles are on the road for a district championship opportunity to take on the Cedar Park Timberwolves. Gupton Stadium at 7 o'clock is the kickoff. But before that, the Booster Club has a tailgate. And tomorrow night, Jimmy has it ready, propped up, ready to go. The tailgate for tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night is at Firewater Sports Bar. So it is on, where's it at? 1431 and, hold on. Palmer Lane.
So right there.
1431 and Palmer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So one side of that is you've got HEB on one side of University. They're on 1431. The Walmart's on the other side. It's in that area right there. And so a good area there. Gupton Stadium, just another light down past the Home Depot. Take a left, and you'll be right there next to Vista Ridge High School in Gupton Stadium. A big game tomorrow night for the Georgetown Eagles as they take on the Cedar Park Timberwolves. The winner takes the district title, the number 1 seed in the playoffs. The loser will take the 2 seed and a home game as well in the playoffs. But an opportunity for this Georgetown Eagle team to continue rolling on after a big 65-21 win over Lake Belton here last Friday night. The Booster Club in the final. The good thing is another home football game next week at Birkelbach will give the an opportunity to continue to have a sell on this merchandise. A great merchandise year. Gretchen Faltasek continues to do great things for this program. She'll pass it on to Lisa Gonzalez next year. But another good week for home football next week. How big is that for this Booster Club? But yet another opportunity for people to get involved.
Oh, it's huge. A huge opportunity. You know, hopefully we're going to go, about 6 games.
7 more games and you get a ring.
7 more games. I mean, that's the plan.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got, we've had great donations and sponsors and things like that. We've kind of played our budget out, and we've got enough to go to state. So that's good, but we can always use more to backfill for next year. If anybody wants to sponsor, donate, they're welcome to do that. And obviously we need volunteers through this whole playoff season.
So is that one of the things that part of the money that y'all raise is getting charter buses and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean,
we
get
the playoffs. You plan on having all of them all the way to state, right?
That's correct. So that's what we try to plan for every single year. And it's like, we have parents all the time, they're looking at our accounts and they're going, man, why do we have all this money? I mean, what are we going to do with this? It's like, look, you don't understand. When we get to playoffs, we need all this money.
Right.
Like, there's charter buses. There's, meals for the boys, meals, breakfasts, dinners, steak dinner. We're doing steak dinner. First, we always do steak dinner. Opening playoff game for the team meals. Yeah, you guys are invited.
We're going to need to cover that one live on SHN. It'll be a private link. If you want the link, email us. We won't send it, but we'll be there live to cover it.
Yeah, we'll do a steak dinner. So we're going to fire up the big pit. Yeah. We're going to have steaks for the boys. So they're going to eat good. You guys are welcome to come.
It will be Thursday night.
Depending on what day the game is.
True.
right?
We won't know
So,
that till later this week. So
depends on. So if the game's on Thursday, it'll be Wednesday. If the game's on Friday, it'll be
that is
Thursday.
crazy that my calendar is wide open Wednesday or Thursday night. So I'll
That's
be
crazy.
ready. I'll be ready.
Funny
I'm
that
gonna be in,
happens that way.
I'm gonna be in Sacramento, so y'all have to eat mine.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll let you
do
know
that.
how it goes. But
Do that.
this
We might be able to
program-
live stream it and send it to him, right?
yeah, we'll FaceTime Kelly.
FaceTime.
Tell him how good it
Can you
is.
smell it? Yeah, y'all are already on my nerves. So mute button.
That's awesome. This season has been a fun one for this team, and this Booster Club continues to show out each and every week. The support that these players get from the Booster Clubs, from this community, is just fun to be a part of and to see. And so an opportunity to continue that running. Don't say hi, just walk on by.
Big chance.
Big chance.
Chancey boy.
Big interception last week.
Yes, sir.
And this team just continues to perform at what we get to see is kind of think of as expected levels. The talent, the effort that these kids are putting out. It seems to be surprising a lot of the people that have now kind of seen this Georgetown team come about. Oh, they're averaging 50-something points a game. What in the world? Yeah, they've been doing it all season long.
I had to stand in line to get a post-game interview with Coach Griffin last game.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had that.
Now, I will give it. I told Coach Griffin on Monday night at the Booster Club meeting, I did appreciate his answer. One of the guys before the game just asked him, "Hey, Coach, what do you expect tonight?" He said, "If we play good, we'll win." And that was it. He said, well, the guy came and said, "Give me a little more, Coach." And he's like, "Ask a better question." He walked off. And so that's the fun thing about being around this program.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I told him, thank you from our media hearts to the rest. We appreciate that being here each and every day. So
Coach makes it perfectly clear there are no stupid questions, just stupid people asking questions.
And so that was
I'll
fun
tell
to
you,
see.
you said everybody was shocked or surprised. A lot of people were surprised. I'll tell you who wasn't surprised. All these seniors on this team.
I tell you what,
They're not surprised.
when we talked to Seth about that a couple of weeks ago, we were asking about the seniors. The tone changed after Leander, and he talked about I think it became that mindset, and this senior class has done a great job of not letting it get light, not letting it become we expect to do well. Nope, it's 1-0. We got to win each game. Our job is to win the football game each week, and that's it. We don't care who it is, and we'll line up and we play. But the effort you've seen out of this offense, this defense, has just been fun to watch, the way they support each other. That's the fun thing that I continue to watch is how excited this defense gets for this offense and how excited this offense gets for this defense and the cheering that goes on amongst the players for each other, knowing that they don't have to hit each other. It's not practice time. It's time to go out and do that to somebody else. And we talked to the players about how much fun they enjoy watching them hit somebody else on this defense. But it's awesome senior leadership, and that's we asked Tennyson Dean tonight. How big is that, and what are you taking in to be prepared to be that leader next year when he's on the defensive line with 3 seniors that will not be back, and he's going to be that leader that's looked at too. And then a Cole Mitchell at linebacker who's going to lose Seth Warren and Chance Kelly at linebacker, and he's going to be that senior leader. And you've got those players that have got to step up, and the impact that these seniors have on them, it's been fun to watch, and they've talked about how big these seniors have been to be true leaders. And when your sophomore quarterback names 8 different leaders because they do such a good job, speaks volumes.
Yeah, and those guys you mentioned and many more, they have the it. They have the leadership.
Yeah. So we always talk about Booster Club stuff. You got a kid on the team, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How much have you enjoyed watching that boy play this year?
Oh my gosh, it's been great. I tell you what, guys, the time has flown by so fast. Yeah. I mean, my wife and I look up every day and we're like, oh my gosh, there's one regular season game left. Yeah, it's like, man, it's like hitting us, Yeah. And it's been a fun ride, and we want to continue it for quite some time.
I would love to have to open up the calendar through the end of middle of December to keep calling football for Georgetown High School.
Right before Christmas.
Week before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun. You saw the attitude of these seniors coming out to begin the year, knowing they had some talent. You saw the setback at Leander, but then you saw the reaction, and that was the huge one. We kept talking about in the weeks 1 through 3. You haven't faced adversity. How's this team going to get when someone punches them in the face? How do they respond? And man, what a response they've had since that tough loss, 38-35, back to open up district play, and then. Well, they have left no doubt. They have done a great job of that, and the seniors have been locked in. And you just see that intensity on the field, and you see the fun, and then at the game, and they can enjoy it. And I thought it was funny how Tennyson said, but after Monday morning, when the accolades are presented, then it's like, you're done. That's
Doesn't
it.
matter.
What's next?
That didn't mean anything anymore. Now it's the next game. But
not a lot of highs, not a lot of lows, just steady.
Consistent.
Yep.
And the job that this coaching staff does to keep presenting nameless, faceless. 1-0 is your job.
Yeah.
Let's go beat them. Let's go play them. And you've got a fighting chance every time. And the way they keep playing, man, it's just fun to watch. And
and Griff's got to struggle. I mean, when you're blowing teams out like we have been, it's like, man, Coach, how do you get them up for these games? It's like, man, that's tough.
What's great is our defense is so conditioned. Defense wins championships.
Yep.
Our defense, because of our outstanding offense, is getting back on the field really quickly.
Complimentary. Yeah.
And so, you can't sleep on our defense.
Yeah.
And I hope we quietly run into the playoffs and surprise the rest of the state.
We ain't surprising nobody.
I think we're on the radar now.
I think Dave Campbell's has made it pretty clear, and Tepper's been talking about it quite a bit. How much?
Oh yeah.
He the first in the week, the Jet won the 5A Player of the Week, Built Ford Tough Player of the Week. That PIO sends out a typo, 16 carries, 404 yards. And then he starts watching the film. He's like, oh, my goodness, this kid had 16 carries for 404 yards. And then he talked about, hey, it's going to be a battle against Lake Belton. And he's like, at 51-14.5, this game isn't as close as it even looks at 51-14. And so that recognition is being paid attention to by a lot. 3 broadcasts of the game tomorrow night at Gupton. KXAN has picked it up as their Thursday night game of the week. NFHS will have the coverage for Cedar Park, and then live here on the SHN Network. First Responder Broadcasting will bring you
the best broadcast.
The best.
Will be right here
on the YouTube channel.
That's right.
We continue to bring it to you with live, and so it'll be fun tomorrow night. 6:15. We'll have the pregame there at Gupton Stadium. If you can't join us, if you can't come tomorrow night, is there a theme to tomorrow night? I seem to get it wrong when I say be loud, wear blue, and they're like, it's blackout this week, or it's camouflage. Is it something this week?
No, but come early, be loud, wear royal blue, and stay late and enjoy the trophy presentation.
Eagle blue, mister. Eagle blue.
Eagle blue.
Eagle blue. Georgetown tomorrow night at Gupton Stadium to take on Cedar Park. The winner is the district championship of 5A D1, Region 2, District 8. The loser will be the second-place team, the number 2 seed going into the playoffs. And so Georgetown will host a home game no matter what in the playoffs. Hopefully it's against one of the teams that sits number 4 in district number 7, meaning Georgetown got themselves a district championship all alone. Georgetown getting ready to score here. Well, bring it down here as they get ready to punt on the 18th green. Georgetown driving down. It's still 7-7 here with 6.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. A snap back. Maddox Borton's going to hang one up here in the near corner. And there's the catch. And he's get a foot down. Nope. Just outside. I thought you had it too, number 4. I don't know what he was watching. But incomplete pass there. Bring up second down.
Going to get a 15-yard personal foul.
And so we're going to close it down. Thanks for joining us live tonight here. Brought to you by Camp Brightside. We're live here at Georgetown High School. The JV Silver continuing to battle as they battle for a district championship. One of 5 possible championships here for this football program. But join us tomorrow night. Tailgate about what time there at the Firewater Bowl Cafe Star Bar. And I can't remember what it was.
And grill.
Firewater Grill.
Hair Care and Tire Center.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Come out and enjoy some Eagle camaraderie as you get ready. And just down, maybe a couple of miles down the street, will be, they go back to the left side and knock it through for the touchdown, but there's a penalty on the field.
That referee looks like he's just riding an ostrich. Got those skinny legs. Sorry. That one just came out.
Oh, Griffin's getting on him.
We're going to call this one.
Griffin's getting on him.
Come out tomorrow if you can be there. Live Gupton Stadium, 7 o'clock. Georgetown kicks it off against the Cedar Park Timberwolves. For Kelly Duvall, for Dave England, and for the Prez, Jimmy Warren. I'm Wally Harmon. Thanks for joining us live here for the Eagle Nation Coaches Show presented by Camp Brightside. Next week, back at 6 o'clock at Camp Brightside. We'll have the Coaches Show live there from Camp Brightside. Come join us. But tomorrow night, live at Gupton Stadium, we'll be live on the air at 6:15. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good night, everybody. Remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind.